Hello and welcome to this week's weekly psychic forecast video for week commencing the 12th of September 2022. Okay, we will begin with an overview of the week, which we have laid out here in front of us already. Then we will go day by day, looking at the potential energy of each day, what we can expect, what we can do, and how we can best capitalize on those energies, and finishing up with a spiritual guidance message at the end for us all. So please do stay tuned for that, because that's an important one this week. There will of course be timestamps in the description below so that you can drop back in throughout the week and check on a particular day's energy. So let's dive on in and take a look at the overview for this week. So our cards, we have number 1, Courage. We have number 41, the Nightingale Spirit, Love is all around. And we have number 3, Take the Lead. Now, this week's energy is really challenging us to stand up and do something, say something, be counted. It's a very interesting energy to be in. And I apologise if you can hear some loud ticking at the moment. It's not actually a clock. It's actually my little, well, one of my many Maneki Nekos that seems to want to be heard today, so I'm just going to bring him in to say hi. So I'm feeling like there's a connection to abundance this week, and now I'm going to put him out the way, so hopefully we can't hear him anymore. So there's definitely an abundance connection because he started going a little bit crazy with his paw just before I started filming, so that's very interesting. Okay, so looking at the numerology here, it is very interesting because 1 is all about new beginnings. It's about me first, interest, looking at the self and what we want. 3 is all about the divine blueprint, creating new things. It's a very creational energy. It allows us to begin new things or to map out where we want to go. And then 41 is interesting because 4 is a very grounded number, but it's about bringing things into matter, bringing things into real life. From the 3 plan, we then bring it into matter, the 4th. And it's interesting we have a 41 because that means that it's us, the self, the individual that is leading matter, that is creating by ourselves. So this is a very good omen for this week. This shows me that we have a real opportunity this week to create things seemingly out of nothing, seemingly out of thin air. Music seems to come out of thin air. Where does it come from? It's a vibration just like everything else. And love is obviously the only true vibration. So it is all about vibration, about manifestation and creation this week. And I think it comes off the back of last week's energy. We had that incredible manifesting portal on 9/9, which was some amazing energy that I have talked about at some length. And I feel like this week we can actually start to see concrete beginnings of our plans, concrete beginnings of the next step in our lives. We'll begin to see the results. We'll begin to see things starting to really take shape here in front of us, which is so exciting. But it does feel like we may feel a little bit alone with it. You notice this figure on the Courage card is all by themselves about to enter this dark wood. And yes, there are lots of shimmering lights of spirit and spirit guides, angels, all the love from heaven around you to guide you forwards. But it looks like it's time to walk your path alone right now. And that might be very difficult because it might be that you're going against what everyone else seems to think is the right thing to do or what everyone else traditionally would have done. It's really striking out in a new direction. It's walking the road less travelled. There is a path here though. I want to say there is a path here. It's just not particularly well traversed. It is very dark. And it looks like this person's suited up in armour, so it's going to take some courage to walk this path. But I think it may be, as the Take the Lead card suggests, it may be that you're becoming a trailblazer this week. It may be that you are doing something that others will follow your example in due course. Other people will be inspired by your example, will think, oh yes, well if they can do that, maybe I can have a go at doing that too. Maybe you're opening up other options for people. And it is very difficult to be a trailblazer. It's a very challenging position to be in because you literally have to start from very little, if not from scratch. You may have an idea of what you want to do. Someone may have done it before you, but there won't be many people who've done it before you. So it is about new ideas, new projects, and it's a very Aquarian energy as well, moving into something completely different that most people don't usually do or don't consider doing. So very exciting for work, for projects. It may be about going back to a project as well, because I believe we're in Mercury retrograde at the moment. So it may be bringing to life a project that you had a while ago and you just weren't quite ready to take that step into it. Now is the time to put on your big girl pants, your big boy pants, and take that first step. So the guidance, you know, the guidance, the love, the support, it's all there for us this week. It's just a little bit scary and we have to take that step, do those things to actually bring things into matter. So let's take a look at Monday. We have number 1, intention, hidden motivations. We have number 11, butterfly spirit. Oh, that's interesting. We've got a 111 pattern here. And then we've got number 20, blossom. Oh, wow. Wow, look at these beautiful cards. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, this is stunning. Absolutely stunning energy, very sacred energy for Monday, the 12th of September. This is absolutely gorgeous to see. Transformation is beautiful. This beautiful transformational butterfly here reminding us that we can grow, we can blossom, we can bring what is hidden what is hidden within us and make it external. We can show who we truly are. And I feel that's what Monday's energy is all about. It's about showing people who you truly are on the inside and finally showing that on the outside. No more hiding. You see the moon on this card. The moon in the tarot is of course about hidden intentions, hidden motivations, but I feel that this week we're actually going to be able to show them finally. We're going to be able to show people who we truly are, what it is that we really care about, what it is that we want. So it does feel like some honesty coming in on Monday, some radical honesty there. But this honesty is very much coming from the heart center. Look, she's got her hands over her heart chakra. The blossoming seems to be emanating from the heart chakra. It's very beautiful. This is a day I feel where we can really leverage the heart and the solar plexus chakra to step up, stand up and be counted, be seen, let other people know what your motivations are, what your feeling is for the future, the changes you'd like to see in your society, in your country, you know, about who rules the country, who doesn't rule the country, who should and shouldn't, who does and doesn't do what. It's a very, very important time, and I think there's a very potential energy on Monday. There's a real energy of potential for true change, but I think it's very important that we stand up and speak up and say what it really is that we have on our mind, that we don't hide, we don't go with the flow, go along with things like we used to. Monday is a day to break the status quo. It's not a day to go along with how things used to be. It's a day of real growth. I feel on a community, national, international level as well, not just on an individual level. It is all about transformation. There's a big energy of transformation in the air this week, and it is going to be very interesting to see where that goes. Now, this energy could play out on an individual level as well, you know, in your relationships with family, with loved ones, with a partner, being very clear about what it is you want from a relationship so that that relationship can be transformed, that it can grow and blossom together. It's very, very feminine energy on Monday, very angelic. We've got this feminine number 20. It's a very gentle energy, so it's not about shouting to people and saying, I want this or else. It's just about being honest and truthful. And then, you know, whatever happens is what happens. But we can't hide in the shadows anymore. We can't hide how we truly feel. It's really important that we let others know what it is that we want, that we need, that we feel is right for us for the future. So let's move on to Tuesday now. Tuesday's cards, we have number 7, Ascended Masters. We have number 54, Skunk Spirit, Know Your Worth. And we have number 5, Throat Chakra. That's interesting. Okay. So, Tuesday's energy is following on from Monday's, actually. We're maybe feeling a little bit down, actually, on Tuesday. It's a bit more of a spiritual day. You may have been knocked back if there were some things you had to say on Monday. And the throat chakra is sort of flagging up as maybe needing a little bit of attention, maybe needing a little bit of extra care. And you can do that by drinking water, by holding turquoise crystals, wearing a turquoise scarf or a turquoise necklace or something like that. Can be very, very helpful to the throat chakra. Those lovely turquoise colours will help to strengthen your throat chakra. And the skunk reminds us to know our worth. You know, the skunk may be much maligned because of the nasty smells they can emit and the toxins that they can spray at you if you get too close to them. But that doesn't mean that they are a bad animal. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with what they are. They just have a very specific defense mechanism, and a lot of people don't like it, understandably. And then we have the Ascended Masters. So there's a great spiritual influence coming in on Tuesday, a very powerful spiritual influence. And I like how the skunk spirit is on a 54-9. So there's a lot of wisdom that comes through with the skunk. But 54 is very interesting because it reminds us that the world just is. Okay, the mind tries to judge everything and put a value on it and rank it here. This is higher than this is better than this is worse than this. It tries to give it a job, give it a meaning, where actually the world just is. Okay, and 54 reminds us of the wisdom of just accepting things as they are, and that you can't necessarily change people, you can't necessarily change the world around you, okay? A skunk is a skunk. You not liking the fact that it's a skunk isn't going to change its nature or change what it is or change how it acts or how it reacts. You can try and train a skunk if you really want to. I don't recommend it. I think that could go very badly. But it is what it is at the end of the day. And I think this is the lesson for Tuesday coming through from the higher realms is very much one of acceptance. The world is what it is, and you are what you are, and that's okay. And yes, your voice may not be heard at this time. It may be still too soon in humanity's evolution for your ideas to go mainstream. And believe me, I know that one. It may not be the moment for everybody to adopt your ideas, or you may look at the world around you and just be very dissatisfied with what you see. But there is a reminder here that the world is as it is, okay? It is always evolving, it is always changing, but very slowly, and we have to accept people for who they are, situations for what they are, and then we have to act accordingly. We can't expect everyone else to rearrange themselves for our benefit, and I think this is something that we can miss sometimes when we work with the law of attraction or with manifesting, because we can get very optimistic, I want to say, about what can actually change. The truth is, the only thing that you are in control of changing is yourself and your vibration. Okay, you are completely in control of your vibration, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. You're in charge of all of that. Okay, you're not in charge of other people's emotions, thoughts, beliefs. You're not in control of any of that, and you should not try to be. It's absolutely okay for you to be in control of your life. It is absolutely not okay for you to try to control others. And that's a big lesson coming from Tuesday. And the cards from my little message deck here say it's okay to play and explore. You don't have to know everything on that number 2 there, which is all about questioning and finding balance. And a reminder that abundance is for everyone. Okay, it comes through on a 33, which is the Christ consciousness, which is this higher consciousness we are all reaching for, yearning for, working towards at the moment, which is very beautiful. And that's what the Great Awakening is all about, what this new age is going to be all about understanding how much abundance there really is in the universe. But in order to live in abundance, you don't need to change everyone else's mind. In order to manifest what you want, you don't have to change how other people act. You just need to change your vibration. That's it. And that's a very difficult lesson for some people, because they say, oh, well, yes, I want to receive this from the universe, but I want this person to do that. You have no control over what another person does. Okay. And you shouldn't be asking for someone to change their ways either. That's entirely up to them. That's their path, absolutely. You know, that you can give them a piece of information. You can tell them what your opinion is, but you have no right to demand that they change. And I think that's where we can really trip up with manifesting or expectations. And I've spoken to many people over the years who've said to me, I did all of these things for these people and they never gave it back to me. And then this other person that I hardly know offered to do all these things for me. And I was like, oh, no, don't be so silly. Don't do those things for me. And I had to point out that energy always comes back to us. You know, when we put out energy, when we help other people, it always comes back to us one way or another. But very often it doesn't come back to us from the people that we gave it to. So just because you helped somebody, yes, the universe will pay you back for that, because what goes around comes around. But don't expect it to necessarily, or even to be likely to be, that same person that is going to give you that energy back, that is going to pay you that energy back. That's just not how the universe works. And a lot of the time it's not realistic for it to work that way either. Okay, you may do a lot of good for a person, for a group of people, for a cause, and that's wonderful. But that wonderful gift that you've given, or that energy you've given and donated to these other people, is more likely to come back to you through somebody else. And that's what I want you to remember for Tuesday. What goes around comes around, but we don't get to decide who gives that back to us, who gives that energy back to us. But abundance is for everyone, and it comes through everyone. Okay, so Anyone that you meet, you may have only known them for 5 minutes and they may give you a beautiful gift. Remember to say yes. And I think on Tuesday there is going to be a reminder about saying yes to the universe and saying, become a bit of a yes man. Say yes when the universe tries to give you something. Experiment with it, enjoy it. Drop any guilt that you have. Like the skunk reminds us, know your worth. Drop any guilt. Just because somebody you don't know is offering to give you something or do something for you and you feel you don't deserve it, doesn't mean that you don't deserve it. So have a little play with that energy on Tuesday. Going to be an interesting one. So let's move on to Wednesday now. Wednesday's cards, we have number 8, Stuck Energy. We have number 14, the Chameleon Spirit, Act As If. And we have number 6, Healing Begins. So Wednesday's energy comes in with a reminder that we can't be moving forwards all the time, and that's okay. It is okay for the energy to stop for a moment. It's like when you're driving along in your car, sometimes you're going to reach a stop sign, sometimes you're going to reach a red light and you have to pause. You have to wait for a moment. Now, you don't immediately have a temper tantrum and think, oh my goodness, I'm never going to move forwards ever again. Everyone else has to get out of my way. And you don't dissolve into tears and think, oh no, I've had to stop the car. That's it. It's all over. No, you just wait and then carry on your journey when the time is right. And that's what I want to tell you about today's energy, because it does feel a little bit, maybe a little bit morose for some people, maybe a little bit down. Wednesdays generally don't tend to have the best energy. It just is kind of the nature of the beast for some reason. But the chameleon spirit is reminding us here to stay balanced on that very balanced number 14. Remember what is, remember what you've already done and achieved, remember what it is that you've already aimed for, that you are in the process of doing, achieving, being, creating, and stay with that, okay? Like the analogy of driving the car, just because you've had to stop at a red light for a minute doesn't mean it's all over, doesn't mean the journey's over. It's just a red light. It'll go green. It's okay. The chameleon will change colour, the lights will change colour, everything's going to be fine. It may also be that, if you feel like you're not moving forwards, you just have to keep yourself on track and remind yourself that you are, or you're going to be. And there is, in manifesting, we talk about act as if, acting as if you've already got something, or getting in the energy of something, getting in the vibration of something. So there may be a reminder there to get in the vibration of something. So if you want to get in the vibration of riches and money, that doesn't necessarily mean go and spend a load of cash you don't have. That's actually a very unhelpful thing to do. It may be that you go and hang around places that are very nice and expensive. You walk around expensive boutiques and try expensive clothes on, or go to a very nice hotel, and have a coffee and a slice of cake or something in the Ritz, but getting yourself into that energy, and that can be very, very helpful to manifest what you actually want. Obviously, that's just one example to do with money and wealth, and there are many others, of course. It might be that you want to spend more time with horses, work with horses, get yourself in that energy, spend time with horses, go and hang out in a field with. I used to do that a lot as a teenager, very boring teenage years. I used to hang out with a lot of horses. We had a good time. But that aside, it is about staying on track for your dreams. That's a beautiful reminder. Achievements come in all shapes and sizes. On that 53-8, so again, it's 8 energy. 8 is about continuation. It is about hard work, but it is also about abundance. And 8 can bring great wealth if we can stick with that energy, which can be quite difficult sometimes. So don't worry if things look like they're going backwards, or they're at a standstill today, or you're not really feeling it, not feeling so good. It's okay. Things will continue, life will go on, and you will achieve your goals if you keep working towards them. So, and no is a complete sentence, yes. And you don't have to do what other people say just because your dreams seem to be taking some time. Other people are not in control of your life. Other people don't get to tell you what you should be doing. I mean, they can say the words, but they don't get to decide for you. That's always your decision. And on this last card here with Healing Begins, it does feel very much as though there may be an opportunity to pause and actually do some self-healing today on Wednesday. It's this beautiful number 6 heart number. We've got this lovely green heart energy lighting up, but also coming up from the earth. So it feels like the earth herself actually wants to heal you. So I'm going to suggest that going outside, spending time in nature could be very helpful and healing today, just to keep you on track and to also heal some of those old wounds about self-worth, about self-worthiness, about whether you are even capable of achieving what it is that you want to do. And I want to remind you that you absolutely are capable of doing this. You can do this. This is just another day. This too shall pass. Anytime you're having a bad day, come back and listen to this message. So maybe bookmark this video, because this is a really, really important message for us many, many days of our lives, not just this one Wednesday, the 14th of September. You absolutely can do this. Keep your boundaries up. Remember, you make the decisions in your life and everything will be okay. So let's move on to Thursday now. Okay, so Thursday's cards, we have number 5, fear. This is a fearful energy coming in on Thursday. 12, canary spirit, sing your own song. And 11, detach. That's quite an interesting energy for Thursday. It's something of an aloof energy as well. And I want to caution you about being too aloof on Thursday, okay? It's all very well wanting to do your own thing, maybe run your own business, work and live in your own way, but don't do it coming from a place of fear. Don't do it coming from a place of not feeling good enough or not being healed enough to actually achieve the things you truly want. I want to bring in a little bit of caution here, because a lot of people who have trauma, very often if we have childhood trauma, for example, it kind of builds up, it stacks up, racks up against us throughout our life until we reach a point where we always have a breakdown. And many of us, you know, are highly empathic. We move into sectors like mine. We want to heal and help people. Maybe we're coaches, maybe we're psychics, maybe we're mediums, healers, you know, coaches, marketing people. We try to help other people. Generally we tend to be helpers. You might be in a medical profession, and then we kind of start to step back from the world, okay, and we say, well, we're doing it for the right reasons, or we're being spiritual, or we're, you know, trying to do our own thing, and we just don't want to be around people anymore. But there may be a real fear coming from a very, very deep, very wounded place inside that's actually pushing you to do that. So that's something to be aware of, I feel, today on Thursday, because there's a very fearful ancient energy that may push us to pull back from other people, maybe from fear of being rejected for whatever reason. You know, it's not necessarily that you're in the same sector as me. It may be that there's just old wounds, ancient wounds coming in. These may actually be, I want to say, ancestral karma as well coming up today, that there's some very, very ancient wounds coming in here. And it may push you to be a little bit too independent, or act as though you're just trying to be independent, when the truth is you're actually hurting. And you're pulling back because it hurts, because you need some support, because you need some help, you need some love. So it may be a day to actually reach out for help, for support, you know, from a counsellor or from somebody who can truly listen and really hear you and reflect back to you what's actually happening. So it is a difficult day. If you really don't have anybody, you know, meditate, spend time with your guides, give yourself a healing session if that's something you do. If you do Reiki or something like that, that's always wonderful. And I know that we forget to heal ourselves. Healers are terrible at remembering to heal themselves for the most part. But I'm going to give you a little reminder today. Be very gentle with yourself, very kind to yourself, and very clear about what your motivations are, okay? Don't kid yourself if your motivations are actually coming from a place of woundedness. And remember what brings you happiness and joy, because isolating yourself probably doesn't, even if you're trying to say that it does, okay? I also want to remind you that there is no lack today. I love this card on that, 34/7. Okay, mystics very often, or mystical people who are very spiritual, very often live in lack. They very often live in poverty. There's nothing holy about that. I just want to put that out there. There's absolutely nothing holy about living in lack and poverty. It doesn't make you special. It doesn't make you more spiritual than the next person. It just means you live in lack. Okay, and that doesn't mean that to be spiritual you have to live in greater financial abundance and wealth either, because that may not be what you want, and that brings its own challenges and its own problems in and of itself. So I want to get rid of that toxic view that can come sometimes from the New Age movement, which is, oh well, if you think you're really spiritual, you should live in great wealth and you should have lots of money and be really rich, otherwise you're doing it wrong. You're not. I promise you that. That's not how it's meant to work either. That's, again, that's ego. That's a misunderstanding of how the universe works. There is really no lack. So take some time maybe today to think about what actually brings you joy, and try and bring more of that into your life. Yes, it is absolutely okay to be yourself, to be this trailblazer. Yes, it is very difficult, and sometimes you feel like you want to pull back from the world sometimes, and that's okay. And if there are fears coming up, remember that fear isn't real. Okay, it's false evidence appearing real. It's not real at all. There's nothing to worry about. There's no lack of anything in the world. There's no lack of love, money, opportunity, abundance, joy. There is no real lack, and I think that's one of the biggest fears for humankind at the moment, that we don't have enough of this. Oh no, we don't have enough of that. That's rubbish. It's bullshit. We have plenty of everything. Okay. So let's move on to Friday now on that one, shall we? Friday's cards. We have number 4, decrease. We have number 21, dove spirit, be peace. And we have number 5, challenging times. Oh, wow. So moving on from yesterday's energy, this is kind of a natural progression energetically, and very often you can see this in the weekly readings. It's almost like the energy is kind of like a wave throughout the week. It progresses and it moves from one day to the next. Very interesting day on Friday, and yes, we may be feeling a bit out of sorts, a bit disappointed, I think, on Friday. It could be a day of disappointment where we feel we're not getting what we want, we're not being remunerated as much as we think we deserve or that we should be. There's also a mention possibly of mental turmoil coming in here on that number 5, which is about the mind. The ego mind can really run away with us. On a very practical level, we may be struggling for money, we may lose some money today, so be careful of that. But there's this whole reminder that despite all of this going along, if we can remain in that peaceful, calm center, we can get through this. We can be okay on that very beautiful spiritual 21-3. Okay, with 21-3, the individual can still make choices, find the balance within to create the reality that they want. You don't have to be swayed by everything going on around you. Yes, you may have had to pay more money for something than you wanted to. Yes, you may not be being paid as much as you wanted to. Maybe you're missing out on a bonus, missing out on an opportunity. Maybe there's arguing, fighting in your family with loved ones that's very challenging at the moment. But regardless, you are still 100% in charge of your choices, your decisions, and keeping the balance in your life. So make it a point today, if you can, maybe to book out some time to have some meditation, some prayer, contemplation, maybe some gentle spiritual practice of some kind, like yoga, or giving yourself a Reiki session, again, would be wonderful, or getting a Reiki session or some sort of healing from somebody. Ah, yes. There we go. And the reminder comes through that there will be days like this, just like Wednesday, there will be days where we feel quite down. And that's okay. It is a case of keeping going. 48, 4 and 8 are difficult numbers, okay? Passion requires follow through. Yes, there will be days like this. Like on Wednesday, it's almost like a repeat performance energetically of Wednesday and some days on Friday. And that can be disappointing. You can feel really knocked back if you're expecting things to get better. But the truth is that we are all one, and everybody around us is just trying to teach us something about ourselves. Now, they will have absolutely no idea that they're doing that, but regardless of that, they are still reflecting something energetically back to us. When somebody acts a certain way towards you, think about what it is in you that they are trying to show you. Okay, what are they trying to show you? They have no idea they're doing it. Don't ask them, they won't know. But on an energy level, what are they reflecting back to you? What vibration are you sending out and receiving back? That's the question for Friday. Because we are all one, we are all connected at the end of the day, and you have a greater purpose here on earth at the moment, or you wouldn't have incarnated in this lifetime. This is a very important lifetime. You are here to help uplift humanity, and you probably know that if you're watching this video. You are here to assist with the Great Awakening. And a big part of that is to actually do the work on yourself. So never underestimate how important it is for you to do healing, whether it's in therapy with a psychotherapist, with a counsellor, whether it's spiritual healing, whether it's past life healing, whether it's physical healing, taking care of your body, emotional healing, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. You doing that healing has a huge effect on the world and helps to bring more peace. That's how you can become peace in the world, by doing your healing, by becoming balanced. by going through the cycles of up and down and learning how to stay in a calm place. You are teaching the energy of the rest of the world to do that through your own learning, which is an incredibly sacred task right now. So it does feel in some ways that there may be an ending and a beginning on Friday, because we do have number 48, which is completion of karmic contract. So for some people, it is the end of a difficult time, and there will be much different times and much better times to come. So let's take a look at Saturday now. Right, Saturday's cards. We have number 4, consciousness, great gratitude. Oh, that's lovely. We have number 13, cat spirit, claim your independence. And we have number 3, share the love. So for Saturday this week, I want to talk about love and boundaries. And who better to teach us about love and boundaries than the cat? Cats are very, very good at this. If you've ever known or owned or lived with a cat, you will know that everything is on their terms. They show love and affection, but on their terms, when they want to, when they feel like it. And if you try to touch them, pet them, pick them up when they're not in the mood, you might get scratched, you might get bitten, or you might just get told off. Saturday is a day where we are reminded that yes, there is so much love in the world, and we can feel really grateful for that love, and we should always remember to practice gratitude. That's such a beautiful thing to do, just to say thank you, to Spirit, to God, for all the wonderful things in our lives, because we have so many that we just take for granted. You know, I could say thank you for these cards, for these crystals in front of me, for the fact I have a phone that I can film on, for the fact that I have a voice I can speak with and I can see what I'm doing here. All of these seemingly little things would be very big if I didn't have them or if I couldn't do them. So there is a reminder about love and about sharing love, but it's also about boundaries. If we look at this card in particular, it's a very interesting image on this card. So it is a heart. It looks like it's made of wood, like a little nut that's being cracked. And there's this beautiful pink light of higher love coming out. It's the colour of the higher heart chakra, which is greater, higher levels of spiritual love, which is really beautiful, but on a green background, which is more earthly love. And so, yes, we can let the love out. We can share it with other people, you know, as the open hand suggests here. But we do it with the purple of wisdom. We do it with boundaries. So we don't just let all the love out in one go, bleh, like that. We don't just go, oh, here's everything, take everything. We do it in a measured way. We do it in the right way, okay? So it doesn't exhaust us. So we are not taken advantage of. So we are not inviting people to walk all over us. We are not inviting people to take advantage of us, which can be a real trap to fall into if you're trying to live a very spiritual, a very loving life. It's very easy to accidentally turn yourself into a doormat. Okay, that's not the point. That's not the point of this lifetime. You're not here for someone else to wipe their damn feet on you. Okay. So Kat's bringing in a very important message there for us today, reminding us about boundaries and about how relationships should be balanced. Oh, here we go, Lord and Lady Fire. There we go. Number 12, a number of perfect governance. So relationships should be balanced. You should be the Lord and Lady, or, you know, it doesn't matter on gender, that's not relevant. But you are here to both be aflame together. You are here to both be on fire together, to both be in cosmic alignment. Really beautiful on that number 43-7. So yes, balance in relationships is absolutely highlighted for Saturday. I think it's a day where we may need to review how we approach our relationships. We may need to think about what we do. We may need to think about setting better boundaries as well, or maybe not shutting ourselves off if we've been doing that. And also showing love and gratitude for all of the wonderful things in our lives and the wonderful things in our relationships, or in a specific relationship. This is a day where we really can bring a positive change, because we've got a very transformational 13 that comes in here, 13-4, which brings us the opportunity to implement changes, to change things in ourselves, to allow things within ourselves to remain in the past, so that we can have this new beginning. So 13 leads to 4. So yes, we claim our independence at 13, and then we can feel gratitude at 4 for the changes that it brings, which is absolutely wonderful. And I also have, just lastly, learn to rest, not to quit. just on that number 1. So there's a kind of an element of beginner's mind coming in here as well. Try and see things in a new light if you can in your relationships. Boundaries, yes, boundaries are absolutely important. Trying to keep things in balance for yourself is very important. So think about how you can do that today. So let's take a look at Sunday's cards now. For Sunday, we have number 1, New Vitality. We have number 4, Badger Spirit, Be Fearless and Bold. Again, we have number 1, Kindred Partnership. Wow. So there's some interesting numerology here. We've got 141. So we've got the very grounded, real 4 being flanked by 1s. Okay, so the 1 of the individual, of the new beginning, of stepping forwards. So I feel like there's huge opportunity Sunday, but we need to go and get it if we want it. This is going to be a day where there's an opportunity to have something, do something, think in a different way, but you have to go and get it. It's not going to be given to you. It's not going to be gifted to you. It's not necessarily going to be easy either, but you can have it. You can have the fresh start. You can have the new relationship. You can have, you know, whatever it is that you're yearning for at the moment. But it will not be just given to you. And there is a reminder here that when we want to have a fresh start and bring something into reality, it's important to do our healing. And I know I bang on about that a lot, but it's so important. That's why, if I keep reminding you, it's because you're not doing it. Well, you're not doing it enough. You need to do it more. I need to do it more too. That's a message for me too. I'm not perfect. So again, we have number 4 here. And 4 is about the concrete reality. It is about the, you know, the truth of things in matter. It's about things that matter and things in matter as well. And yes, the body exists, okay? Just for the record, the body exists, all right? You have this vessel that you have to live through in this lifetime. And yes, you have to take care of it. So it may be a reminder here that in order to have your fresh start, maybe you need to take care of your body a little bit more. Maybe you need a rest. Maybe you need a holiday, okay? Maybe you need to eat differently. Maybe you need to think about stopping drinking, drugs, medication, cigarettes. Maybe there are some things in your life that aren't helpful to your body, that are going to take time, that are slowing you down in what it is that you want to achieve. Maybe you're going to the gym too much. Maybe you're exhausting yourself doing something. Okay, so have a little think about that on Sunday. Think about where you're doing too much, how that may be holding you back on a very practical level, because there's a very practical energy coming through with these 2 4s. Okay, and it is all about the individual. It's about it's about fresh starts. It's about direction we want to fire ourselves in and shoot off in like an arrow. But it's about you at the end of the day, and you have to take responsibility for yourself. And that comes in with some very beautiful gratitude here as well. I give thanks for my many blessings. And as a reminder, we have so many blessings on that 32.5. And there are other people in our lives who are blessings as well. So it may be a wonderful day for a new relationship to begin, but I think you need to be very careful if you're going to enter a relationship this Sunday, a new relationship. You really need to think about whether it's going to work, because you are growing, you are evolving, you are changing. The person that seems just right for you today may not be just right for you in a couple of weeks, months, years' time. Okay, so think very carefully today. There is opportunity around, but we need to be very practical about what we truly want, whether it's really going to be the right thing for us, and whether it's going to help us to move forwards, or whether it's just going to hold us back. So let's move on to our spiritual guidance message for the week. Our cards we have: number 35, Light Beings; number 17, Visualize; and we have 33, Soul Love. Very lovely. We've already had a 33 this week. It's nice to see that numerology coming out again. So 33 being the Christ consciousness, of course, the highest state of consciousness that we can achieve in this reality where we currently are. It's what we're trying to achieve, what we wish to ascend to, what all world religions claim to try to take us towards. Maybe they do, maybe they can, maybe they can't. visualize 17 and 35 light beings. It does feel very much like there's a huge amount of support coming in from the higher realms, and this could be what you consider extraterrestrial coming in here as well. And I have been receiving a lot of information, a lot of downloads from extraterrestrial beings recently, so that's definitely a theme going on, and it does coincide with the US government and maybe other governments around the world actually admitting to UFOs existing. So they're starting to disclose a little tiny bit at the moment, a little bit of the iceberg. They're starting to let us see the tip, and please believe me when I say there is so much more to it than they're letting us know right now. Take everything you see in the news with a gigantic pinch of salt, okay? And remember that these are people who manipulate us because they want to control us, so they only let us see what they want us to see. Okay, there's a whole lot more that you can see about the universe through meditation, through astral travel. You can learn a lot more directly from speaking, from communicating with outer world beings, with outer world guides. Okay, they are all here to work with you, to guide you. Of course, you do it in the right way. You do it with protection in place. However, please don't think that we are alone. Please don't think that we're on our own in this tiny little limited reality, because we are absolutely not. So it is a very, very powerful week. There is a lot of information that's going to be coming through from the higher realms. Pay very much attention to visions coming through to you. There's a lot of illumination, a lot of hopeful messages coming through as well. So don't be put off if you get a very good message and think, oh no, that's too good, that can't be real. It is real. Very powerful, very potent messages of hope, reminding us who we truly are, reminding us where we come from, in particular for the star seeds, for those of us who've come from other planets to be here in this incarnation at this time. It's a very challenging one for us. It's so hard for the star seeds. We really struggle with this heavy, dense, low energy. It's so heavy, it's so painful for us, but we are getting through it. And there is a reminder that love is all around us, but it's all around us from the other realms, not just the one that we are aware of, the one that we can see. We are never alone. You know, we are children of God, for want of a better word. You know, we are these beautiful sparks of the divine. We've had many different lifetimes in many different places, many different vibrations, many different dimensions. Yes, some of them may have been on Earth for sure. We may have been stuck here for some time in this lower energy, but we're here for a reason. And we are reminded that we're here to build on this energy, to work with this energy. None of our lifetimes are ever wasted, even if there are people who can be quite negative maybe in certain aspects of the spiritual community who can, you know, tell us that these lifetimes are pointless. They're never pointless. Okay, in the grander scheme of things, nothing is ever wasted, nothing is ever pointless. Everything has a point, everything has a purpose. It's not always pleasant, but it has one. So we are told, you know, we are here in this lifetime to build on this lifetime. How can we build on this? With this, I was guided to draw an eternity symbol here, which is interesting because this is a number 44-8. And 8 is, of course, the infinity symbol. The two are divinely connected in numerology. So yes, this is a very heavy, solid, real lifetime in many ways, but in other ways it's very unreal to me, because I remember things from other realms, from other dimensions, and you maybe do as well. Maybe you intuit that things exist that we don't have access to, and sometimes I feel very held back when I'm in this incarnation. It's so difficult sometimes because there's an aspect of me that remembers so much more, that knows on some level there is so much more that we should be doing, having, sensing, feeling, creating. It can feel very, very frustrated to be stuck, you know, in this meat suit being down here. But we got to remember, no mud. That's hilarious. No mud, no lotus. And I put that on top of the lotus. Okay, my guides are being cheeky now. No mud, no lotus. We are here to create something bigger right now, something better. The future of the world is important. Okay, you are here because you're meant to be. Right place, right time. Okay, on that number 13, you are here to help with the transformation of the world, transformation of the energy, so that it can rejoin the higher realms, so that it can ascend, so that we can learn what it is to ascend, what it is to come from the lower, darker energies, to ascend back to much higher ones, to much more loving places. And yes, it's such a hard thing to do, but it's absolutely beautiful. You are here for a reason. You are important, you matter, and your lifetime matters. So thank you very much if you've reached the end of the video with me. If you have, please put the word the words right place, right time on a comment below for me. Please do remember to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look out for my shorts. I'm making lots of those at the moment. I will also be making shorts of each day of the week, just as a little reminder for people here as well. Please do remember to share this channel with a friend, share these videos with a friend. I really appreciate it. And let me know how your week goes. I love to see your comments, and I will see you all again soon.